So you know how... I'm struggling with a straight face here. What the fuck are you doing? I'm trying not to laugh. Hold on. Stop making that face. Stop making that face. You know how into health we are here at ChavezzSlovakia. We have one of the greatest diet plans ever created. The burger and fry. The pancake with syrup. And the delicious wife. But we really have. We've been working hard on being healthy. We've done a great job this year. This is the healthiest year we've had in our relationship, with cooking and exercising every so often and not complaining as much when we have to do healthy-like things. So I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
We did really well, especially in like the couple of months before the wedding. We did so, man, we cut out so many carbs. We didn't go carb free because we did carb free last year, and that was awful.
The worst, one of the worst experiences of my life.
I remember when we finally ate carbs and we just gorged ourselves on carbs and made ourselves fucking...
And it was amazing. Made ourselves
sick.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad.
But it was so good.
This year we did well. We just toned down the carbs, you know. If I'm craving pizza, this is hard. If I'm craving pizza, I eat a salad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At work, when they're like, oh, eat the enchiladas. And I'm like, I'm not going to eat the enchiladas. They're free enchiladas. I mean, I might eat one free enchilada. It's a free enchilada. How do I not eat a free enchilada?
But you don't eat.
But I don't eat two free enchiladas. 2 free enchiladas is too much.
So here we are, casually explained, being healthy. Let's go ahead and skedaddle on into it.
3, 2, 1.
Well, it's pretty common knowledge that certain foods are healthy and others aren't so much. It's pretty rare that you ever get an explanation as to why. And one thing that bothers me quite a bit is when someone says to eat something because it's good for you or it's a superfood, and almost universally with that...
Hold on. He's right in the middle of it. He's like, hold on.
Because it's good for you or it's a superfood. And almost universally what that really translates to is it grows in nature.
Word.
What is a superfood? I see that everywhere.
Yeah, dude, I normally refer to stuff with antioxidants in it. Like it has a cleansing nature to the food.
So cranberry juice?
It's like cranberries, you know, they're supposed to be unusual fruits and vegetables that you don't normally eat that have a lot of benefits. But in marketing, it just means money. It just means you throw some superfood in it. You don't actually make it any healthier. You don't use you keep using the cornstarch and shit that's really fucking you up.
Right.
And then you sell it like a health fad.
Okay.
So.
Ironically, half the time it only grows in nature because we've selectively bred it over thousands of years to be that way.
Yeah.
And when half of our leading sources of nutrition advice are Pinterest recipes, a lot of what we consider common knowledge is actually completely made up. As an example, one of the most common terms you'll see online with regards to healthy food is that something gets rid of toxins in your body, which really doesn't make any sense. If your body is filled with toxins and certain foods remove them, then that means we could have brought back Steve Irwin with a blueberry smoothie. In reality, almost all supplements or foods that get rid of toxins are really just laxatives or diuretics, so it makes you feel like they're somehow flushing something away, when in reality you could have just put 3 shots of vodka in your latte like a regular person. The next thing you'll often run into are online recipes for anything made overnight in a mason jar telling you you're not getting enough antioxidants. And one of the ways you can tell if you're not getting enough antioxidants is by looking at your skin and seeing if it's starting to rust. And while they do play a role in your body, the problem with suggesting that you should consume more is that it's fundamentally like saying the more oil you have in your car, the less likely it is to break down, which is not true because too much actually makes things worse. The good news is that you do have too much oil in your car, you can add the excess to your overnight oats because motor oil is also high in antioxidants. Another common idea that's recently started to shift is that you should never skip breakfast, which there is absolutely no scientific basis for except that breakfast food is my favorite. I think the funny thing is that when I used to tell people I skipped breakfast, they thought I was crazy, but now I can say I'm doing intermittent fasting, and they're like, oh, very
enlightened.
Diet is a very expensive place to be. So it's really interesting to see where people get their information from with diets. Every time I say we're dieting or we dieted, they ask me, well, what diet were you on? I'm like, that's a very interesting way to put that.
We just adjusted our diet.
I mean, yeah, we just stopped eating shit we knew was bad for us. Like
mac and cheese.
Yeah, okay.
Taco Bell.
Everything considered about what you should or shouldn't be doing. You know you shouldn't go to McDonald's twice a week. You know that's too much. So then just stop doing that.
I stopped putting as much sugar in my Starbucks,
Easy.
all of that.
Easy.
Although, I would like to say that apparently the gentleman from Casually Explained also thinks that I don't have to eat breakfast. So booyah. Because you always are like, you need to eat breakfast. Make sure you eat breakfast. I don't have to eat breakfast.
But why do I tell you have to eat breakfast?
Because you love me?
No. I don't give a fuck about it. That has to do with love. It's because when you don't eat breakfast, you eat a crap ton of food for lunch. Holy shit balls do you eat so much for lunch? A single egg would stop you from eating an entire pizza.
Hey, I leave at least 2 slices for later.
Absolutely not.
When in reality, I just woke up at noon.
Ah.
Relatedly, the next thing
I
that's
like how
often
you waited to say that after you said the booyah about breakfast. That's really funny.
incredibly misunderstood is diet,
Yeah.
especially with things like paleo, keto, intermittent fasting, and varying degrees of vegetarianism becoming so popular. We've all heard limitless jokes about how do you know if someone is a vegan? Because they'll tell you, ha ha ha, classic comedy. But that's not even the case anymore. I see way more people on low-carb ketogenic diets post things on the internet like, look at this fool I saw today eating an apple like an absolute normie as they show off their Costco haul of pork rinds and butter. The most important thing to know is that generally speaking, weight is regulated by calorie intake. So you have a certain amount of calories you burn in a day.
You have to exercise.
And going to work doesn't count. Saying I have steps at work is not the same as exercise. It's not the same thing.
You'll gain weight, and if you intake less than that, you'll lose weight. As a quick disclaimer, the exact amount of calories absorbed from food isn't always 100%,
Correct.
which is why some people claim calories in, calories out isn't true. But being more exact, calories metabolized and absorbed minus calories burned always is true.
Yeah.
Now, for the average person, the amount of calories burned is around 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. Then the generally accepted rule is that there is 3,500 calories in a pound of body fat. So say you wanted to get thick because it's 2019, you would have to eat roughly 500 calories above your daily maintenance for 71 days to gain 10 pounds. Then if we look at the composition of food itself, all food is made up of 3 primary macronutrients that serve a different bodily function, and each has a different caloric value. We have fat, which has 9 calories per gram, protein, which has 4 calories per gram, and carbohydrates, which have 4 calories per gram as well. And then there's a 4th bonus macronutrient, alcohol, which has 7 calories per gram. As for their physiological roles, loosely speaking, fat regulates hormones and stops your cells from imploding. Protein is for bodily function and muscular regeneration. Carbohydrates are primarily for aerobic and anaerobic activity. And then alcohol, which sadly just poisons you. The good news is that because too much alcohol is toxic, if your friend is passed out in the club bathroom, you can flush out the alcohol by popping a blueberry under their tongue, just like a sensu bean. Below that, we have fiber and micronutrients, which are all your vitamins and minerals. Just make sure you get enough of these or your teeth will fall out. Now, with these fundamentals in mind, if we start to take a look at all the popular and successful diets out there nowadays,
don't do this to them. They don't need this.
The fact of the matter is that almost all of them have good points, but they also all have bad points. Meaning that you're not an enlightened member of the nutritional Illuminati just because you stopped eating bread. And if we take a look at all the most common diets that cover the full spectrum of plant-based to animal-based, we can see they all have pros and cons. Veganism is sustainable and very nice to the animals, but it's a bit harder to get the right macronutrients, and you constantly have to wonder if your friends don't want you for dinner because of your dietary restrictions or just your personality. Vegetarianism is sustainable and nice to the animals, but limited food choices. Paleo diets are good for weight loss, but again, limited food choice. Ketogenic diets, Very good for weight loss because it massively regulates blood sugar, which affects cravings and appetite, but it's extremely limiting in terms of food choice. Not very good for anyone doing anaerobic sports because there are no available carbohydrates, but it's actually not bad if you run ultra marathons. So next time you go for a 100-mile run, make sure to bring your pepperoni holster.
Dope.
Carnivorous diets, these ones are a bit weird and they're very unsustainable, but very good for weight loss and autoimmune disorders / arthritis / certain types of depression. And while there have been some pretty miraculous anecdotes, the downside is that it has not been well studied long term. And everyone at the restaurant will think you're a serial killer as you peel the breading off your KFC family bucket.
Yeah, you're gonna feel fucking terrible. I mean, there's just no way you feel good after that. Only eating meat.
For some reason, the community is also really involved with cryptocurrency. So if anyone was actually the nutritional Illuminati, this would be it. And then finally, the classic, if it fits your macros, which means eating whatever you want as long as it fits within a designated calorie limit and matches the amount of protein, fat, and carbohydrates you've allotted. Okay. This is common for athletes and people who want to be bodybuilders, but in the 7 years they've been going to the gym, they've only made 2 years worth of progress.
Jesus Lord.
God.
Speaking of the gym, there are also a few misconceptions when it comes to exercise, and one of the most common jokes you hear in weightlifting communities is making fun of people who say, "I'm just looking to tone." Because the only two variables to your physical appearance is the volume of muscle you have and the volume of fat you have. It's also incredibly difficult to gain muscle. So you'll often hear girls and even guys say, "You know, I'm worried that if I start lifting weights, I'll get too..."
Which is so weird to me. Like, I've never thought, oh no, I'm gonna work out and I'm just gonna become too buff. Like,
you did tell me once that you were worried about working your arms though, because you don't want your arms to become really beefy.
Yeah, because I already have really broad shoulders, and so I felt like...
You see how you just warped right back into... No, that's good. It is a fear that most people have though. That's what people think happens. I'm like, dude, it takes a long time not to get toned or lose weight. The internet has no idea what the fuck healthy body is supposed to look like anyway, so you don't trust them.
Yeah.
But to gain muscle mass takes a long time and a lot of work. It is mostly not even worth it to have that as a goal, you know?
And unfortunately, the thing is, no matter how much you believe you're an anime protagonist, it just isn't going to happen. Ultimately, there are two main ways of improving your physical health through exercise, which are strength training and cardiovascular training. In other words, how strong is your bod and how strong is your heart and lungs. Well, even 30 minutes to an hour of walking a day is enough to make sure everything keeps working. Further training at the gym is not only a good idea, it's a lifestyle where you can lift a heavy thing now so you can be in pain for a while and then lift a slightly heavier thing later, or ski on the elliptical until exhaustion so that once your heart eventually recovers, you'll have more love to give.
Stupid.
Dude, very good video.
Yeah.
It's weirdly accurate and satisfying. I usually get really triggered by like diet videos, and like sometimes I'll sit through them just to finish to hear what they have to say, and then be really upset that you're just like, so you believe in a diet type that is a fad. Like, any diet where you don't have to consider how you feel while you're eating it is a bullshit diet. Stop using the word diet.
Right.
Okay.
It's a fad. It's a fad diet.
Yeah.
I like the term fad diet because it just covers such a broad spectrum of diets.
Well, you can't eat this because it doesn't have enough protein. Do you know that? Do better, live better, be better. And what's excellent too about understanding more about diet is you understand how little you have to do to improve your life. Improve one thing, you know, do one thing a week different, you'll be fucking great.
Make a small sacrifice. Small sacrifices every day really add up.
It really does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next one, man. We're gonna do a casual explain video on Skin's channel now. Join us.